With his signature guitar sound and countless rock and roll collaborations, there are a few musicians who've had a bigger influence on the UK music scene over the past 4 decades than Johnny Marr.
The former Smiths guitarist is now back. His latest offering is a solo one, and it's called Fever Dreams Parts 1 to 4. It's really shot up the charts. Have a listen.
I'd say that Johnny's here now. Morning.
Morning.
Hi.
How's things?
Very, very good, thank you. Yeah, nice to be here.
New album out. You're going on tour. Let's talk about performing first, because lots of artists we're speaking to at the moment are still just in that moment of going, people, me on stage. Special, isn't it?
It is special, yeah. I did some shows in September and October of last year, just did a handful. It was the first time, I think we were one of the first bands to come back, and there was definitely a vibe in the audience, a sort of feeling of celebration, I think. And I think that's going to stick around for a while. I think everyone's missed it so much.
Can you really sense it? Are you
yeah.
looking out and you can just see it and feel it?
Oh yeah, you can really feel it. Like it's like sort of pent up, sort of excitement, and it's what it's about for me, really. Everyone getting together, and you know, as a job, I get to plug into an electric guitar and play at very high volume to a lot of nice people. So I'm really looking forward to it. What's there to not like?
You won't be able to answer it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Who have you had the most fun with on stage, performing?
On stage, for some reason, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam comes to mind, because I played a couple of times with Eddie. I played with so many different people, but yeah, I think Chrissie Hynde was particularly good. I was younger then. Would have been about 24, 25, and she was amazing. Right from the off, the thing was that even when we were rehearsing, it was like a show. I think I learned quite a lot of Chrissie. I didn't realise until I started fronting my own band and thought, oh, okay, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I copped off her.
Well, she is a very strong personality, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a good leader. I think the thing about fronting a band, like say Chrissie, for example, I was like 24, I think, and I'm walking up on stage to play in front of U2's crowd, like 100,000 people. You want the person right at the front to be like, I've got this.
Yeah.
And I sort of hopefully, I don't know whether my band would agree, but in my own way, I try and be that for my band, yeah.
What a great feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty great. The audience are so lovely. I know over the last 10 years or so, I've built up, with the solo stuff, I've really built up kind of a good relationship with my audience, I think, which might sound a bit obvious, but I think they know that I appreciate them. And
Johnny, in a roundabout way, have you got an Oscar?
In a roundabout way, I guess I have, yeah. Why do I look different?
I'm just wondering if you get some kind of token gesture of it, because No Time to Die...
I'm still waiting for one in the post.
This is the Billie Eilish No Time to Die, and you were involved in that. And
yeah, I played on the song, yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing thing the other night. See, when for Billie to pick up the Oscar, when we did the song, the first thing was to make it sound great for the movie. That was the first criteria. And then secondly, I think second consideration, I mean, for a start, it was a great song to begin with, a very brave song and intense. I thought it was a great idea that Billie was to do it. But then the second thing really is, I'd be lying if I'd said that we weren't aware of the legacy of the Bond song. So, it had to be decent.
It had to be huge. It had to be massive. Because
you've got a heritage of all of that. And so I had to work in the movie. We knew that, you're up against a lot of these classic songs. And then also it had to still sound like a Billie Eilish record, which is very important. And the film did well. The film did very well, which was great. It's like really successful. And then the song did well. So when all that was done, I was like, right, okay, job done. I wasn't in a million years thinking about it getting an Oscar. So then the other morning, when my phone was blowing up the next morning, I was like, oh.
So do you get one?
About it.
Do you get one in the post?
I'm not sure. I don't know really. I'll maybe have to borrow Billie's for a bit.
Yeah, quite right.
She won't mind. Right. She's got loads of them.
Tell us about your new music, because you've got a new album out yourself.
Yeah, I've got an album called Fever Dreams Parts 1 to 4. It came out a few weeks ago. It felt like a long time coming. I started writing it just before the pandemic. and it was called Fever Dreams then.
What's a fever dream?
Well, you know, delirium. So it's, I suppose, a fever dream is, you know, if you got terrible flu, or dare I say, you know, COVID or whatever, you know, and you're delirious.
But it wasn't written COVID related. It was just, just some odd happenstance.
Exactly, yeah. But it turns out that, as I say, I started just before the pandemic, and I had this idea of fever dreams about. I kind of had this idea a little bit that sometimes that's what life is like as a human. It's sometimes confusing, the business of being a human being, the predicament sometimes of the way other people are, you know. Usually it's all other people. But this idea of, what it is to be a human being, good and bad. And that was, I thought, I had this idea that's what I was going to be writing about. And then, of course, we went into this thing we've all been on the planet, we've all been through. And that you know, gave me plenty of material to write about.
I'll tell you what, you're thinking about the big stuff, aren't you? If you're thinking about what it is to be a human being,
you've got to sing about something.
yeah, but that's the big stuff. You're getting more philosophical as you get older, dare I say it.
Well, when I started with the solo stuff and I was writing the lyrics, I did everything in my power to not sing about myself, to avoid singing about myself. It's not because I'm particularly shy or whatever, but I didn't like the idea of. I thought there was plenty of other people who were doing that, who were sitting with an acoustic guitar. You know, they could do it better than I could. So I thought, well, there's got to be areas for music where you're singing about other things like buildings and society and all kinds of different things. But this album's album 4 now, and then just as I was going into this album, once I heard this voice in the back of my head saying, you've got to take on some of the big stuff, got to get you want to evolve record by record, you can't keep doing the same thing. And it's a little like, I don't know, running a marathon or something. Once you've sort of got the vision for it, and you think, well, I can't really chicken out now, I've got to sort of follow it through. So, and then the pandemic happened, so as I say, that gave me lots of material to sing about the human predicament, good and bad.
Do you know what I like, Johnny? Every time you said playing the guitar, you play the banjo. You've been going like that every time.
Yeah, right, yeah, well.
It's a miniature guitar.
It's a mini one, yeah.
Lovely to see you today. Been a lot of people very happy.
And you're touring, you've got the album in the top 5, I think, at the moment. It's all good.
Yeah, it is all good, yes. I feel very grateful. I mean, it's like 40 years since I started out making records, so I'm just still glad I've got a job.
Still love it?
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
Nice to see you this morning. Thank you.
Johnny, thank you so much. Johnny Marr there. Johnny's new album, Fever Dreams Parts 1 to 4, is, of course, out now.